area, and towards the 10 freeway will be the next. Actually, the 60 freeway will be the next one that he crosses. But now passing through the Monterey Park, East LA area, in that valley area here, right next to the Emergency Operations Center for LA County. But you can see he's using all lanes as we come down here. Out of the number 1 lane here, he's got a little bit of slower traffic out ahead of him. And so right now you see him just passing. There is construction down in this area. And so the road will get a little bit tighter as he comes down. It's this area has been under construction for quite a while as they've been working here. But you can see he's just using the lanes to get around slower traffic. Now right now there's only a few cars out ahead of him, so he's able to keep his speed up. Now coming up to the 60 freeway, we'll see which way he gets here, but it looks like we're holding the right lane as he comes around. It's LAPD directly behind him, keeping track of him along with their 2 units and 1 supervisor air unit overhead making the call for them as we continue here southbound 710. You'll see the 60 coming up here shortly, and we'll see if he takes, there's the 60. He's going underneath the 60, so this will continue now southbound. And the next big freeway we hit is going to be the 5 freeway right in the area of East LA and Commerce. So you can see he's not giving up any speed at all as he continues on here as we work our way down towards the 5 freeway. He should catch some more traffic as I look ahead. Now he's having to weave through some slower traffic coming down, getting over from the number 2 to the number 3, then back to the 2. So right now, stolen vehicle pursuit, LAPD right hot on his tail. CHP has been notified, and normally at the request of the LAPD, when they request it, CHP will take over the pursuit for them. But as we come up here to the 5 freeway, this will be a left off ramp for the 5 freeway, and we're in the overcrossing now. Yeah, so it's going to be southbound 5 freeway as we make that flyover from that left off ramp up here. So continuing here southbound now 5 freeway, heading down towards the Citadel, the large shopping centers in the area right along the 5 freeway. Atlantic will be the next cross street he comes to. So as we continue on here, southbound 5, number 1 lane, still at a very high rate of speed. So we'll just have to keep an eye on him. But right now, as we had a pursuit last week at very high speeds on the freeway, traffic is unusually light. I mean, normally I travel down this freeway about this time of night heading home, and it's usually packed up. But tonight, for some reason, it looks like not a lot of folks out here. But that's a good thing for this guy here driving as fast as he's driving. We're not going to have a problem with people getting in the way and him having to make a lot of heavy lane changes now all the way over to the 4 to get around the slower traffic. LAPD still behind him. You can just see the speed he's crossing behind those cars and passing them. So he's probably in the excess of about 90 miles an hour at this point, just based on the other cars on the road, but using all lanes to get around them as we come down. Coming along here, and you'll see as we come into the Commerce area, he'll hit Washington Boulevard as the next big off-ramp he comes to here. We'll see what he does there. But this, like I said, started over by downtown L.A., got up into the East L.A. area, all the way over into the north side of Monterey Park, and now has worked its way south on the 710, now south on the 5. So heading down towards the Downey area will be the next city we hit as we cross the Rio Hondo. But right now, you can see he's starting to slow down just a little bit. See, LAPD is still behind him, trailing back probably about about a quarter mile behind them, trying just to get through traffic as he blows through. But he is showing no signs of slowing down here as we continue south on the 5 freeway. So Micah Scher, let me send it back down to you just for a second. Have you heard anything about CHP? What? They keep asking what? 5 is back. Lakewood Boulevard. 5 coming to a stop. Yeah, he just got off at Lakewood here, and he's going across, going to make the turn now. Once he comes back to the 5 freeway, this will turn into Rosemead. We'll see if what he's going to do. And underneath the 5 freeway, and now coming back around here, we'll just kind of sit here for a second. Looks like he's going to make the U-turn. Yeah, he's going to turn around, do the loop, get back on the northbound 5 freeway. So got down in some area here, probably not really familiar with it, so he decided to turn around and head back home, get back towards, yeah, I'm ahead of you, and it's getting back on the northbound 5 freeway from Lakewood Rosemead. So, yeah, more than likely, we've seen this before in several other pursuits where they'll get going south or direction, and they get to a point where they get, I guess, confused or decide that they don't want to go that way, and they turn around and go right back where they came from. So we just going right back now, northbound 5 freeway, just going through Paramount now, and the Rio Hondo River will be ahead of him here as we go over the top of that. So, yeah, he is not showing any signs of slowing this thing down. Traffic is not backing him off at all. And as you see, the light from LAPD is on there. And we've been listening to the scanner, and CHP has offered to take it over, but LAPD as far has decided to not to hand it off to CHP. Because normally in a situation like this, you will give it off to CHP because it starts getting in a long run like this. We're well out of the city of Los Angeles now. And now getting off on Slauson here as he comes to the bottom of the ramp, a very sharp turn there. And as he comes around, right around that car, and then just spins it around. Right turn now, coming down Slauson here, back eastbound Slauson, and he's going to come up to the next intersection here. No cross traffic, thank goodness. And as he comes around here, I'm just going to keep an eye on him. We're heading back southbound, paralleling the 5 freeway. But as I was saying, the CHP getting onto it, they can then hand off from each office area of responsibility. But now LAPD is pretty much starting to stay with this. Now we're down on Slauson here, and this is a kind of an open area. It's a wide street, but there's a lot of cross streets. So the worries here is with these speeds. Now I just heard LAPD watch commander telling all units to back off the pursuit, because now these down on surface streets at these speeds, they are, they're just about able to stay with him without having a cross traffic and a T-bone as we go through one of these intersections. But at these speeds, and now he's transitioned on to Telegraph and from Paramount and heading back down here, doing through these intersections. I'm trying to listen to the police talk about it. He's going through that intersection there, right through the red light. Thank goodness no cross traffic. I got all of it. Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of the pursuit on the police radio as well to try to pick up any information from them. But right now he is really, this Mustang, just flying the mail down Telegraph here, coming up to the 605 freeway as we come up here eastbound. So we'll see what he does when he gets there. There's on-ramps for the 605 off of Telegraph. But he came right down to this area, made a U-turn, came back and went the other way. So now we're south of where he made that U-turn to get back on the northbound 5. And just, yeah. I don't think so, because the LAPD officers are way behind him, and so I wasn't sure. That might have been sheriffs. This is a sheriff's area over here, and I'm pretty sure everybody's aware of this pursuit, but he went right by those units. But the LAPD has been told to back off, and more than likely has warned the other agencies down here that they're not going to engage in the pursuit, just following with the area. But we just crossed over went over the 605 freeway still, and just passing Jersey as the air unit calls out the cross streets. But yeah, Micah and Cher, this here is what really bothers me. This speeds like this, and he's going in such an excessive rate of speed that he's not going to be able to react to anybody pulling out in front of him. And unfortunately, you're going to have somebody here just not expecting that, and then end up just getting hit really hard by this guy, because right now he's really pushed this car to the limit. I don't know how much brake he has left, and unfortunately, these people don't realize that the brakes will give up. And now he's coming here making a right-hand turn here. Keep on. Yeah, from Norwalk Boulevard back south on the 5 freeway. So looked like we were going to continue south on the 5, but he jumped back, or continue south on Norwalk, but he jumped on the 5 freeway. And this is going to take us down towards the Norwalk and then off into Orange County. So coming up on Rosecrans, and I'm going to work my way to, because we've got a large sound wall here, how to get it out of the way. So, yeah, so this guy's all over. 5's coming to the north side. And what I was saying earlier is LAPD is sticking with us, and they've gone into tracking mode now. There are units on the ground behind him, but not very close, and they're just kind of keeping an eye on him, waiting for him to go to ground. But this guy's showing no indication of that. But, yeah, those speeds on those surface streets are just unbelievable, going through those intersections on reds. And, like we were saying, it just, you never know what you're going to get in the middle of those intersections. And the driving skill at that speed, there's no way he's going to miss anybody that comes across in front of him. But right now, he's going to weave his way through the traffic coming up on Carmenita. And so I'm guessing here pretty quick that LAPD is going to ask for CHP to go ahead and come in and take this, because they're getting way outside their area of operation. And with the radio systems that they have, they'll start losing communications with their they'll be getting out of communication range for their radios. So I just heard them talk about CHP, and now they're getting ready to switch over, sounds like, to a CHP frequency to get them onto this. So that'll help out quite a bit, because the officers that work the freeways down here will be able to pick up and watch this, and from the ground, the CHP knows the freeways, and then they're able, like we were talking earlier, to pass it off to different officers so they can stay with it. But right now, LAPD is still in charge of this pursuit. Stolen vehicle here southbound on the 5 freeway, heading through the Norwalk area right now. So it's going to be into Orange County here now. And then as we get down in here, also LA County sheriffs are here as well in their helicopter, helping out with the coordination with the Santa Fe Springs office for the sheriff's department. But right now we're down deep into, or heading down into Orange County. So right now it's going to be Orange County area that's going to have to be notified. One thing about Orange County's frequencies down here, they have one central pursuit frequency they can come up on, and then everybody knows about it in Orange County. So all the different agencies down here will be able to hear it, know exactly where it's at. And now we're hearing the Sheriff's Department from Orange County, Duke, a helicopter coming in to help out as well. So they were heading down south here. If he stays on a 5 freeway, I'm going to have to climb up over the Dodger TFR. So, Sheriff Michael, let me send it back to you while I coordinate that. Hey, guys, are you clearing with SoCal? Okay. They're getting off. What was the street? Not. No, it's not. Getting back on the freeway. Five's just pedal turning. Yeah, back south 5. Yeah, we made the U-turn at Knott and turned around and came back northbound here. And now I'm listening to the LAPD coordinating with CHP to come in and take over the pursuit. So once they get a couple units in position to take over, you'll see them pull in behind. But we're heading back northbound from where we came. We've done this a couple times, back and forth on the 5 freeway. The last time making the turn at Lakewood Paramount or Lakewood Rosemead, and this time all the way down to Knott and made the turn. So. Yeah, I think right now what we're going to end up with is this guy's running out of gas because of the high speeds he's running at, and he's giving no indication that he's going to stop. When he gets off on the surface streets, we kind of think that, okay, he's going to get to that area that's familiar with him. But right now, this guy's not staying in any area for too long. And I said this thing started up just the south of downtown L.A., and has been going pretty good here for a good 30, 35 minutes. So it's anybody's guess where he's going to end up, and you can see he's just passing traffic with ease here as we go along. Light traffic going northbound 5 freeway. We're coming back up into the Norwalk area of the 5 freeway, and then once we get up here, we'll hit the 605, and more than likely we'll see if he continue north on the 5 freeway. But okay, now I'm hearing CHP has taken over the pursuit, so we'll be on the Santa Fe office for CHP. We'll have it, and I believe once they get in there, you'll see them get up a little bit closer, a little more aggressive with it. The other night, that one Friday night, it was 140 miles an hour, and that CHP officer was staying right on him. So LAPD had gone into somewhat of a tracking mode, and then backed off just a little bit. Now they've got CHP involved, and they're dead on it. Now they're calling speeds of 85 miles per hour northbound on the 5 freeway, coming up to, I believe, Norwalk Boulevard's the next one we're going to hit here, as you see them blow right by that semi. So, it's anybody's guess where we're going to end up. There's CHP right behind him, and the LAPD still overhead with their unit providing cover for them. And just passing Norwalk, number 2 lane, as I hear the units continuing this pursuit. So any idea where he's going to end up? And just hopefully he doesn't end up hurting some innocent motorist out here on the freeway as he drives this stolen car here northbound 5 freeway. 6:05. Did you say something? Same. Yeah, it's a Lakewood off-ramp again here. Same one he got off earlier, and so now we're back down on those surface streets, but CHP is on the pursuit. They are authorized to pit from what we're hearing, so if they get a chance to take him, they will. But down, now making the turn back to the south here, and this is where he made the turn here. So I mean, and just went under the freeway, wrong side of the street here. You can see he's crossing back over and continuing southbound Lakewood here from the 5 freeway. So with this type of driving now, he's putting everybody in danger on the opposing lanes. But light traffic they're dealing with. Now, the mindset of these officers, as you folks, as you and Micah were talking, is, yeah, you have no idea what's in this car, what this person just did, and why he's running. Is it a simple, just stolen car, or is it a car that just a suspect that just committed a major felony? You never know. So the officers have to stay with it and keep it high alert on these things. Now we're coming up to a cross street here, cross intersection on a grid. And as he gone hard on the brakes, slowing down into the intersection, and now push through and then continue now south here. And continuing here southbound. So the officers have to keep their emotions in check here, even though they're at high rates of speed here, going through red lights and chasing this car at a high rate of speed. They have to keep their emotions in check, keep their breathing in check, to where they can go ahead and handle the pursuit, and then when it comes to an end, to be able to get out and handle anything that comes up, because they have to go to what the suspect does. And then, it's anybody's guess what this guy is. So, they have to be able to say, if it's just a stolen car suspect, a felony suspect, who knows. So right now they're doing everything they can to stick with him. But then again, with their training, they control their emotions during these pursuits, because it does kick up a lot of adrenaline. I have been in these pursuits and ripping through intersections like this, and you tend to get what we get as tunnel vision, and you lock in on the back of that car, and you forget about what's going on around you. And that's where the experience and training comes in, to be able to deal with that and handle your car as well as protect the drivers around you, so you don't become a problem. But man, he is just flying it down here, down the right-hand lane here. I'll get the street name for you here in a second. And it's 70 miles an hour through that green light, down, just blew through there. Light traffic, but from Brookshire. And we're going to figure out what street he's on here. But he is just, he's at a high rate of speed. And I'm watching out ahead here. And that's one thing about here. I have an overview of this, and I can see what's coming before it happens. But he's coming up on a slower traffic here around that car carrier, and he's going to have to wiggle his way back over to get we're on Firestone, just away from Brookshire, and just really cooking along now. LAPD helicopter is backed off, and the LA County ship is overhead now, calling it for CHP as we're working our way back here on Firestone, heading back towards the 710 freeway. But man, the speeds he's going through these streets here are just as amazing here. And now he's coming up on now. Luckily, this light just turned green ahead of him as we work our way along. But man, it just really going along, and he's on the brakes pretty good here. So he's got to be heating those brakes up, and eventually he's going to start getting what's called brake fade, where he's going to step on those brakes, and there's going to be nothing there for him. And so hopefully he doesn't just blast somebody going through one of these intersections. And just went through Old River is what they call it. But Absolutely. Well, they try to do that. Well, actually, yeah, if they get him slowed down, they will try a pit. But you can see the way he's just whipping around traffic. There's no way. There's one CHP officer is right behind him, trying to get as close as he can. But with that, the way he's driving, you just can't get up there. And plus, he's way above the speed for any kind of pit maneuver at this point. He's going to have to catch him on a turn or one of these off ramps. Now, getting on the northbound 710 freeway from Firestone here. So this is where they could get him going up this ramp. And if they get a chance, he's pushing really hard to catch up with him. But, you know, a high-performance vehicle like this, you know, he's got good acceleration, so he can accelerate right out of it as quickly as he gets into it. So now you see a CHP officer kind of coming out and tracking him along. So they're going to, right now, the pit maneuver is kind of out of the question right now. Now 65, 70 miles an hour here. We're going along, and we're going to head right back up towards the 5 freeway. So we made a big turn here. Now just called the speeds at 90 in the number 1 lane. So yeah, it's going to be hard for them. This is just going to have to be a situation where they stick with him and get that one little opportunity where he slows down for a ramp or slows down for a turn that they can get to him. But they're not going to hit him up here on the freeway. There's no way they'll pit him at these speeds on the freeway at all. So CHP, they're experts at this. So they know how to handle these high speeds on the freeways. They do it every day. Working these roads and working the areas here, and I'm listening to the CHP as they working their way up. They're coordinating with the agency, they're with the different offices ahead. But right now we're coming up up the 710 freeway, coming up to a closure up here, basically a construction area. They just warned one of the officers, right through the. He's in the closure now. He's in the construction area. There are construction workers just ahead of him. And hopefully he gets back out of that lane. Yeah, he did. Now he's going to go by the construction workers, but drove right through the cone barriers there. And, you know, it's very dangerous for these workers that are out here, you know, doing just their job out here, working on our freeways, trying to keep them in condition. And to have some guy like this come blowing right through their closures. And there's the workers right there who just went through the shot. Well, we're coming up around the corner here, Bandini, Atlantic area, as we work our way back up towards the 5. And you see the CHP officer right behind him. Now he's kind of slowing down just a little bit because there's a car ahead of him. They're down to like 2 lanes, so he doesn't want to get up behind that car, it kind of looks like to me. And we'll see if he pumps it up here just a little bit as he comes up to a car he's following. And looks like that car is going to yield to the right. Exactly what he should do is get out of the way, let them go by. And but his speed has come down quite a bit. And so we'll see what happens here. I don't think he damaged his. He might be exiting Atlantic here. Yep, coming off at Atlantic. So this will take him on surface streets here around the Commerce area. We had the pursuit the other night that got off at Atlantic and raced around down here as well. So I don't know what's so popular about this area, but it's coming on Atlantic, going through Bandini. And yep, back northbound. Yeah, coming back on the northbound 710 freeway, making that loop. And just kind of a weird little turn there to come off, get back on. And I'm surprised CHP didn't get him there because he's at a slow rate of speed now. They could get up on him, but yeah, he's got a cone stuck under his door. You can see it right there sticking out. So maybe that's. Yeah, he's grinding that cone down that he ran over there going through that construction. But still northbound 710 coming up to the 5 freeway. We're going to cross over the Commerce train yard. And you can see that smoke coming out of there. You see that? I don't know if he wonder if he damaged the tire going through there, or if that's just the cone smoking up there. But he's putting out a lot of smoke at this point. And coming up to the 5 freeway. We'll see if what happens, but he's holding out on the number 1 lane here. So this is a left off ramp as well. It takes you on the 5. Looks like we're past that, continuing north on the 5 freeway. And yeah, he might. I'm trying to look. Can you see that? I can't really tell with that left front tire. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing that dust come up from it. You see a little smoke right there, and it's starting to smoke pretty good. Yeah, he's got a tire problem. Is it bent in? It looks like it's been. Yeah, now you're starting to see some sparks. So yeah, Sherry's getting down to the catching that rim here a little bit, and these things, man, will really let go when that rubber finally comes off, and you'll start a shower of sparks going off him. But continuing north here, 710, coming up on the 60 freeway, and going to go over right up to the 60 here, staying on the north 710. This is where we came from, south 710, where he got on at Valley at the very top of the 710. And I'm trying to poke in there, Colton, if you could double in there and kind of get in there and see if we can get a better look at that tire. We were thinking it might have been the cone smoking under there, but now the smoke is kind of dissipated. So I don't see any real smoke. And normally these tires, especially on cars like this being low profile, they give up in a big hurry. So right now he's picking that speed back up. Oh yeah, we're what good speed. He's peeked out the window and he's just jetting by this car. Now he's getting over to the third or the 10 freeways coming up here as he comes along, and there's 3rd Street up here as well. We're using that right lane, and yeah, he's picking up the speed. So that was that cone grinding up in that left front tire. That's what slowed him down. So it's probably making a lot of noise, and he wasn't sure if he'd lost a tire or what. But as soon as that cone cleared, now he's back on the races here, coming up to the 710, holding the number 2, and it's going to take that lane and the one to his right. They'll put him on the 10, but if he stays in this lane here, this will put him up on the 10 freeway. So let's see where he goes when he gets up to he's coming up to the Gore Point now. And we're going to see here, looking out the window as he comes up, and yeah, he's getting, okay, he's staying 10 freeway. Yeah, as he comes through here, staying 10 freeway. No, I took it back. He's getting on the eastbound 10 freeway, sorry. And then past the eastbound, now westbound ramp here as he comes through, making this turn around the top. This is the flyover for the westbound 10 from the 710 freeway. 5 just making a pedal turn. And as he comes here, this will take us back down towards downtown L.A. As he comes around here, I'm trying to peek out the window, keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't jump off. But yeah, this is kind of the area he came from. As we continue west, he's working his way back there, but he's really kind of slowed himself down. He's still on the transition here as he comes around, and the CHP is 4 cars behind him. So we'll have to see what he does here because he's really kind of slowed down. I'm surprised they didn't get up on him right at that point because it's a real clear area. He's got a shoulder on both sides that he could use to put him around, but his speeds are just a little bit too fast for the pit maneuver because you really don't want to get going at any high rate of speeds because technically, as I was taught working for Huntington Beach PD, anything higher than about 45 miles an hour then starts turning into deadly force because you cannot predict what the car will do once you spin him out at that speed. Plus, also, you're putting yourself in danger by doing it at that speed as well. But that CHP officer is coming right up on him, probably going up to check, see if there's any damage. We're trying to listen in to the conversations with the units down below. But they're continuing on now, coming up towards the County USC Medical Center here, Soto and Eastern in that area as we come along. And it gets into the Chip 5 transition. And from this point, he can go a lot of different directions. He can take on the 5, he can stay on the 10, he can get on the 101. That'll take us back through downtown. So right now he's over to that right lane. He's in the collector here going under. I'm going to see where he's going to pop out on the other side. But yeah, he's still set up here. Let's see. It looks like he might be getting off here. Let's see here as he comes around the corner. And looks like he's continuing on the 10. And it's real tough to figure out exactly how he's going to get through here. But yeah, it looks like he's going to continue on the 10 freeway. And it'll bring him around here. Let's see if he pops out and where he goes. As we approach the 5 freeway, he's going to go under the 5 freeway here. And this is going to be the 101 if he continues underneath here, unless he grabs a ramp down here. I'm not sure if there is a ramp that comes off here. Yeah, there's a ramp. Going to pick up the South 5 freeway as he comes, or actually it's going to be the West 10 freeway. I'm sorry. It'll collect down here as he come around. 5 is just pedal turning and working its way south. So he's in that interchange area here for the 5, 10, 101. Now working his way south And this will be the 5 from the 10 freeway. They collect together here again, and it'll be the 5 freeway. So it's kind of a roundabout way to get on this South 5 as we come around. And so right now we'll continue South 5 coming up to 3rd Street. All right. Five south. I still got your 9. .660. Yeah, you wait a minute on this guy and you're on 3 different freeways. Now eastbound 60. We took that 10 interchange, which drops into the 5. You had a choice of the 10, 5, or 60. And now we're on the 60 freeway here, heading out east. So that's right now. It's anybody's guess where he's going to end up. And yeah, they're kind of going along, as you were speaking about, not being as aggressive as we've normally seen him. But he's definitely staying above what is recommended for the pit maneuver. So, yeah, the only place they're going to get him on that is on an interchange where he's got to slow way down, or getting off the freeway on a ramp and get him at the bottom of the ramp as he tries to figure out which way he's going to go. But yeah, this guy is unbelievable the way he's been driving. Now we're continuing here east 60, and he's over to that far right lane, and he could drop off the freeway here at any time on any one of these off ramps, and it's right into the neighborhoods of East LA. So coming back up towards the 710. So we've made a big loop here all the way around, the East LA, then through the Boyle Heights area, then back down here now, coming up to the 710 on the East 60. So, they're going to just be content to stick with him here, it looks like. I haven't seen any real effort to get on him as far as on these ramps that he's coming around. That one transition that he did from the 710 to the 10, that would have been a perfect place, because like you were saying, he had ramp barriers on both sides of him they could take him into. Now he's coming up here. He's going through the interchange here. Looks like we're going to pick up the North 710 now from the 60. And as we come around here, 5's going to pedal turn right in behind 9. And as we working with our partners up here in the sky to stay coordinated in our moves here as we make these interchanges, it's just coming around, and now he's just going right back. And I'm looking up 3 units behind him. The normal CHP is set up, 2 units and a supervisor, keeping an eye on the pursuit. Okay, getting off the freeway here just north of Cesar Chavez and getting off. Now here's where they could get him, but right through the line here, bouncing through now into the neighborhood. And oh man, I hate it when they get in these real tight streets here, because poor people down here, they get a cross traffic coming up at a 4-way stop. Luckily that guy didn't match him, so here's a turn. Here's where they can get him. I mean, if I was that pursuing unit in front, I would be bumper locking him right now, getting right on him. And as soon as I got a chance to snap either side of him, I'd take that rear fender and just take him right on around. and try to get him stopped. And there comes a CHP unit trying to come up right there on that turn. Would have been a great spot. Now he's wrong side of the street, passing opposite traffic as he comes around. And, man, just zipped around that guy. You imagine coming here just driving home and have a guy come around the corner on you and pass you on the wrong side of the street. So here we come up to an intersection here, red light. And we're going to see what he does here. And coming up there is a left turn, taking him back up to the north and working his way along. The CHP unit chasing up on him. Yeah, he's trying to get up there to him. But you see that acceleration I was speaking about earlier? Yeah, he just went northbound. Yeah, you get close. He sees those lights coming up in that side view mirror, and he just steps on it, and he's able to just to take off if the drive out of it. So right now, yeah. Yeah. It's the problem is, they can get up right up on him, but then as soon as they get that little set, he just stomps on the gas and just jets away from him. So there's really not much you can do about that. So my mindset, if I was that lead officer, I'd, like I said, just bumper lock him as best as I could, get as close to him as I could, let him make a mistake on a turn. Once he gets himself around that turn, then get into that fender, whichever side he presents to me, and take him on around. So. Because, I'm telling you, as a police officer, you're doing everything you can to get this thing stopped because you don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want to hurt yourself or any of your partners, but especially the motoring public. You want to get this guy stopped and knock this off because eventually the odds are going to be that he's going to run out of talent here and hit somebody. Just the fact that he's ripping through these streets and cross traffic of all sorts. And then, anybody could pull out of a driveway along here and then, be met up with a guy doing 60 miles an hour down a street that's opposed to 35 or 40. So now CHP is up close to him. He's on the brakes. And see what they do here. He's coming up into out of a thin area. So I'm trying to figure out what he's going to do here. As he comes around, he's just slowing down. And CHP, you see, snapped out. He was going to try to get him. And just that little thing. And I'm just going to keep an eye on him and let this officer do his work because, like I said, they're trained at this a lot. They do a lot of recurrent training to learn how to do this in a perfect way. I know with Huntington we did it once a year, got in there and spent a whole day on the pit course. And here we go, a U-turn. Yeah, well, LAPD, once they gave it up to CHP is now in charge, and CHP is the one that makes the call whether LAPD comes back into it. Normally, on a situation like this, especially the way this guy's driving onto freeways, off of freeways, they'll stick with it as best they can. So it's once CHP pretty much gets on it, they'll stay with it here. Now I'm trying to look out the window where we're going, making transitions here. We're not near a freeway, just a lot of overcrossing and things that I believe are back on Floral, and they were going to make a turn here. The big turn. This is where you get him. Come on. Oh, it just didn't get him. And so right now he's going to come back up the hill here, back up towards the 10 freeway, and back on the gases. Really cooking along here. He made a turn on me as I tried to turn around and anticipate which way he's going to go. And now we're heading westbound. They're calling westbound Fremont here, and this will take us right back up to the 10 freeway as we work along. So I mean, it's any idea what's going to happen here. But CHP was drying right there. That one turn, he got slow going around that corner, and that CHP officer, hung it out there to try to catch up with him. So now CHP is backed off quite a bit. Coming up 10 freeway here. Let's see if he jumps back on the 10. The ramp is coming up. And, okay, he made a left turn here. This will take him underneath the 10 freeway. Fremont. Roger. Just making a pedal turn. Oh. Yeah, here he goes. Okay, he says northbound Lowell from Mission here, going right around that guy at the stop sign now. He's up into a neighborhood and very tight streets up in here. So we're on Lowell. I got you over there. And north on Lowell here as he comes around. And now on Allen from Lowell, coming back around. So this will kind of just make a big loop here. But, you know, good thing about this, he gets in a neighborhood like this and get lucky every once in a while and they'll drive down a cul-de-sac. And that's what I'm hoping for here. So he's in some tight neighborhood streets here. It stays pretty tight wherever he goes from this point. And Norwich is the street he's coming up on now and still on Lowell. And we'll see where he gets up in here. But he's kind of slowing it down through here. But it's a point. It's just really tight. And also speed bumps. There it is. That's why he's slowing down. These streets are, this is Norwich he's on right now. And coming up on Poplar. So we've been through here before tonight. This is where we kind of picked it up when we first heard the call come out. So westbound Poplar, and just about got that parked car there. So just kind of weaving his way through the residential track here, and these folks will put out, you know, the city will put out those speed bumps to keep people to slow them down. And now he's coming up here. He's going to be behind me and turning southbound. Here, they're trying to get the name of the street as they call it as we come around, and there's another speed bump. They're slowing down. Yeah, so the CHP officer was going to get him there, but that speed bump's going to mess you up. And also, it's a little bit too tight here to do a pit. Okay, here's another turn here. And continue on. Yeah, here he comes. Oh, still tightening up there. You got to give yourself room. So, and now back southbound. And Farnsworth, I think, is the name they gave this street as they came around. But, yeah, he's just making turns here. So I'm just going to just sit up here and just pirouette around with him as he goes around these streets in this neighborhood. It's very, like I said, tight neighborhood, tight streets, and being able westbound on Cornyn is what they're calling now. See, we're just make one turn back. We're going up Lowell again, they called it. And now Warwick make westbound Templeton from Warwick. And that CHP officer, he's up there. He's waiting. Yeah, it's too tight. There's not enough room for him to get up around him and take him down. Like right there, you see is barely a 1.5 car length width here, and as he works his way along here, and we get into a little hilly area up here, he's got to, now that officer has to keep in mind everything around him. Where's this car going to go when he sends him around? He doesn't really want to, if he keeps spinning around down here, jams up. I mean, there's no way if he can get around. You have to get the thing to go cleanly around to get the engine to stall out. So, that's what you're working on. Also, you're thinking for public safety here too, and you don't want to send it up into a yard, maybe into a house. So you a lot of things on an officer's mind trying to do this. It's just not as simple to go up there and knock him out of control. But we're getting up into the hill here, very, very tight roads, and I guess this guy's just guessing his way through here now, because even if he lived up here, it'd be kind of tough to know all these streets like this. But coming up to a T intersection, which is Eastern, and he's going to go north. And here we go, northbound. See what he does. Another turn here, probably. I got to continue on here northbound. They'll bring him back up to Mission and through Templeton here, and this as we work along. So CHP very patient through there. I mean, yeah, you can't get over aggressive. And I was talking about that adrenaline that builds up in you when you're in these pursuits, and sometimes you have to really work it out to make sure that you don't let that take over. And now westbound Huntington is the turn now as we make our turn. And this is a little bit bigger street, so as he continues down here. He's on the brakes, going to make another turn up into the hills here and round a corner. And yep. Well, if he jumps out, I don't know. Well, I mean, if I don't know my neighborhood this well, the way this guy's ripping around up here. There's a lot of streets that go a lot of directions, and we're getting up into the hilly part here, up into the hills, and now he's made that turn. He kind of spun it there coming around that turn. And I don't know. He could be very well in an area he's somewhat familiar with or has an idea, but if he knows every street, I give him all kinds of credit, which I'm not really wanting to do. And ooh. Yeah, right through the light, right on the Huntington here, and I heard the air unit calling out, watch traffic guys, cross traffic guys, and you saw that car just blow right by westbound as he made the eastbound turn. So that air unit tactical flight officer doing everything he can to take care of his partners on the ground and call this pursuit to help them to pay attention to their driving, and just stay with this guy so they don't have to keep an eye up too hard to where they have to stay on him is very tight. But right now they're kind of just pacing along with him, and he looks like he's going to make a turn here. Oh, their units are now making the turn right behind him as he comes around. So he's really circling this area up here now. And I'm going to have to start thinking what like Cher's thinking. He's in an area where he feels comfortable. But the problem is he's not going to shake these three guys that are behind him, because they're staying right on him, and one of these minutes he's going to find himself a cul-de-sac. I'm looking down, kind of trying to anticipate that, and here he comes back up towards, and he was on Navarro, and now he's on Navarro now and working his way back from where he came, and they'll get him back up towards Huntington, which is just to the north of him. As he makes that little turn there to the left. You see how tight those streets are, so yeah, be able to get in on him is going to be very, very hard. So bounce through that intersection. CHP officer right on his tail. Now, see, he got to keep, he was going to take him, but he got a car coming the other direction. So you have to stay away from him. So now here's a chance. It's kind of an open area here as he gets behind this shopping center. And we'll have to see what he does up in here. But he's just not enough room to get next to him. And he's slowing down as the CHP officer going to move over to that right side. He swings over, and right now on his tail, coming back up there to a T intersection. We'll see which way it goes when he gets there, but really slowed down a bit here. So, not sure what the plan is here, because the speeds he's been going at have just been amazing. And now up, see CHP trying to cross traffic there, right there, and the air unit was calling that for him, and so. Anyway, coming down, yeah, this is, oh my goodness. I'm trying to listen to that TFO and getting memories of pursuits I've called from the air, and kind of getting lost in what that observer's trying to do here. But yeah, this is, now he's picking back up speed. So we were driving very slow, and now he's back on the gas here down these streets. And we've been on this street before. I bet he makes a left turn up here because he came off this street. Yep, this is the street he came off earlier. And so we're just kind of circling the same area around and around. So just coming through here, CHP still behind him, air unit calling. So, man, he's going to be unbelievable here. I just can't believe he hadn't hit anybody yet as the way he's driving. And luckily, I don't hardly see any cars on the road down here, just a couple here and there. And that's just been really saving this situation here for this guy. But he's just continuing here down through the intersections. weaving his way through, wrong side of the street. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That officer, as I said, he's going through a checklist in his head of what he can do, when he can do it, and how he can do it, and because he doesn't want to mess it up. He doesn't want to hurt anybody else or basically get in there and hit him, and he gets stuck, and on the streets. But right now, he's not getting an opportunity to get in there, and but he's bumper locking him, trying to wait for that one mistake that he makes, and once he makes that mistake, he'll take advantage of it. But these streets are so tight down here and so windy. It's going to be kind of hard for him to get him up in here unless he gets him on a turn in an intersection. So, yeah, see right there, but it's just so tight. You can't get around him. And so, the officer's waiting for that perfect time, that perfect moment to get him. And he will, but he's not going to do it prematurely or just push it to try to just the point of doing it. Right now, you see him slowing way down, hitting those speed bumps, and the officer has to make sure he doesn't damage his unit, take himself out of the pursuit. And coming up here, he's now kind of getting up on him. Yeah, but he's not enough room on either side of him. You can see right there. I think what he's doing, like I said, I talked about earlier, what I would be doing is just bumper locking him and getting up there to see if he makes that mistake. We're going back out to cross traffic. Now he's right behind him, and he's starting to creep over there to the left. Now, right there, he should have just jammed on the gas, got up on him, and taken him. But the problem is, I just saw it because I'm looking at, he tried there. And here he goes. Maybe he's going to get it. Yeah, it was close. But the speeds are a little bit steep right here. I mean, a lot of things happen when you get above that 40-mile-an-hour range. And I mean, it can be done, but a lot of things go on. The dynamics of those cars will just take off on you, and then you're going to control your own car. Now he's really picking up speed, heading downhill here. I believe this might be Eastern. Not really caught the street name from the pursuit, but it's taken, and it just really cooking along here, coming down to a big intersection here. 5's going right by you, 4, and so it's back onto Valley, and yeah. Yep, and he's right there in this turn. We're on Valley here, heading back towards the East LA, or actually Boyle Heights area. County USC Medical Center's up here, and yeah, he had a chance there to get him at that one point, but I think what happened is the speed got just a little bit too much, and he made the right call and backed off on that. So right now they're cooking along here, probably about 55 miles an hour or so, heading here on Valley back up towards. And the Soto is coming up here, the Soto overpass, as they've called it, working its way through here. And it's going to start getting a little bit tighter as we come up into the buildings for the medical center area. And that'll take him around and put him right back to where the 10 and the 5 come together. So, it's just anybody's guess how this is going to end. And with the speed it's been going, I'm surprised we haven't crashed already. I mean, it has really been high speed. Now he's going to come up here and catch this right cross traffic ahead, coming through this intersection, and just westbound Mission just went right through that red light, and then making a U-turn back and take him back around here, and this will put him on back onto Valley. So here he goes, CHP coming up on him. Come on now. Yeah, he just accelerating. He's weaving too, so he sees it coming and he's weaving out of it, and it's tough when they're doing that to you. So, like I said, where he's got to get him in is a turn when he doesn't have the ability to weave or accelerate out of it. So, high-performance car, very difficult to get yourself in position here, and I'm sure this Mustang can take out or accelerate an Explorer by any day. So light car, a lot of horsepower, and very agile type car. So this CHP guy's doing a great job staying behind him like that, getting as close as he can. But he's going to get him. He's eventually going to get him, because this guy's going to make that mistake, and he's going to get on that fender and take him around. But back on the valley here, heading back eastbound. We just came down the street the other direction, and he's slowing down again. He's got a red light ahead of him, and see what he. Get him. There we go. Yeah, good job, guys. Good job. Now, jam car's got to come in. You saw that the pit car just took on right by. The other two cars need to jam him, get up on him and block him in. But they're holding way back. If we come out a little, now, is holding here, and they're holding back. They should go up and jam him right in the front, and then somebody into the side or the rear to keep him from moving. And these cars are designed that if they are in drive, that if they spin around and roll backwards in drive, the computer senses that you're out of control and will shut off the engine, so you don't have a problem. But hopefully it stalled him out and has now disabled his car to where he can't drive out. But right now there's no way. They're trying to do it. But here comes the driver opening the door. It's up to him right now how this ends. All he has to do is cooperate, do what the officers tell him to do, and we'll see what he does here. The officers are holding their position, that door kind of closing back. And it's just a wait and see here at this point. It's all up to him how he wants to end this pursuit. And all he needs to do is just follow directions, get out, and the officers will then take him into custody. But he needs to cooperate. They shouldn't run up on him right now. He's in a position. The car, you can see the door coming open. And hopefully, there he comes stepping out. Hands are up. Very good. Very good. Follow directions. He's kind of cavalier about it. He's kind of just casual. All right, you got me here. Put my hands up. And the area keeping track on him to make sure if he takes off, now he's going to lay down there. That's not where you'd want to lay him down, but he may have done that all by himself. But hopefully, yeah. Right. Well, yeah, it could be. If we widen out a little bit, let's see where the officers are at, see if they've left their position of advantage here, which is behind the, nope, see, they're sitting back there. So they want him back, as Cher was saying. They want him away from that car because you don't know who might be laying down in that back seat or who may be, down to where you can't see him, even though they're looking right through the front window. You don't know. And the practice is to get him away. And this guy could have just very well just laid down there. He's probably been through this before maybe and decided, okay, I give up. I'll lay down here. Up there, he's standing up, and he's going to do what they ask and walk backwards. There we go. Now we pop in here a little bit more. Walk backwards towards them. The officer's doing a great job sticking to their training, sticking to their procedure, staying behind the car in a position of cover and concealment. And this guy is just really cavalier about this. Okay, now he's just going to lay there and look at him. That's the last thing they want him to do. They want him facing away so that he can't see their approach. And eventually somebody's going to go up here and make contact. Somebody with a beanbag gun is going to be in here as well, also with tasers just in case something goes wrong. But see, he's watching the officer come up on him, and that's not what you want. So they're just going to take care of business here, come around him. Officer holstering his gun. He's going to be the rest officer. Come up, put his hand behind his back, and he's going to cooperate here. You can see him patting him down, and the cuffs are going to come on, and here we go. Good. In custody. No accidents of any major concerns, and suspect in custody here going to be heading off. LAPD will probably be coming over to take custody of this suspect and take him off to jail. But right now you see in custody, everything's done exactly the way we like to see him in, nice and safe.